professional game is back in the Golden State for the first time in NWSL history, and after a too long wait in professional women's soccer. It's two clubs donning their debuts in their program history, and their fates inevitably intertwined. It's Angel City and San Diego in their first ever NWSL matchup and game in general. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. Alongside me, Eric Dobransky. Should be a great one here today. Let's take a look at these lineups here, Eric.
Thank you, Mark. Exciting night for both these teams, the league and this starting 11. The biggest interest is going to be how they line up tactically and how they match up against each other. Angel City coming out in a 3-4-3. How does this back three deal with the front three from San Diego Wave, who is coming in a 4-3-3? For Angel City, this is going to be a midfield battle. So Recaro, McCaskill, Spencer, Weatherholt, who can win this midfield? San Diego Wave, McNabb, Korniak, Turnbow, and then this front line for Angel City, Tyler Lucy, Kristen Press. What kind of pressure can they put on this San Diego Wave back line? And obviously two really good goalkeepers on both sides.
Absolutely, and then just to go through a couple of names worth pointing out. First off, Alex Morgan, one of the highlight players on the San Diego Wave, will start off on the bench, but also joining her there, Sofia Jakobsen, two names that pretty excited to see on that side of things. But Kristen Press, she's not hiding on the bench, starting off right in the center of things. She's the highlight player for this Angel City side, and we'll see how she does here today once things get going. So we're here in Fullerton, California. 62 degrees right now. Beautiful weather to play the beautiful game. I don't know about you, but I think that's right around the dot where if I wanted to play a game, that's the temperature I would pick.
Absolutely, and again, it's just a tremendous night and really building and laying the groundwork for a tremendous rivalry between these two clubs and these organizations. Really exciting night. And again, not only are you getting the fantastic buildup that both fan bases have been a part of, but really tactically and talent-wise, it's just going to be an unbelievable matchup.
We're here at the home of Cal State Fullerton. They'll play the rest of their season at the Bank once the regular season gets started, Angel City. But it is a home game for the LA-based side as Angel City dons the black and San Diego dons the white unis. And the referee's been blown from our head official, Elvis Osmanovic, and we are underway here from California for the first time in NWSL history. We've got Angel City and the San Diego Wave. So San Diego will be the first one to push forward. It's won back by Jasmine Spencer. Only for a brief moment. This ball crossed inside, knotted up in the air by Madison Hammond. She's filling in that center back role. Sarah Gordon injured. And what a big center back piece she is for this team. Can't play this game. It's going to be a long while she's out, but Madison Hammond has been plugged in and has played well in that role, according to Freya Kuhn, the head coach of Angel City. Here's Tyler Lucy, squaring it in the middle. Endo plays it out to her right side. This is Danny Weatherholt into the 18. And she's going to be guarded off the ball. And Kaylin Sheridan will collect it for the Wave.
And this is going to be the fascinating part, Mark, is the way these opening exchanges continue to develop, because, you know, what do you want to look like on and off the ball for both teams? Obviously, first games in the organization's history. You know, what do you want the pressure to look like when you're trying to win the ball back? What do you want to look like in possession? What do you want to look like in transition? So a lot of these things are going to be, you know, not just done tonight and that's it, but it's going to lay the foundation for where they go throughout the rest of this Challenge Cup. And the way the Challenge Cup is formatted, the three regions with the West, Central, and East, and being in that West Division with the OL Reign and the Portland Thorns.
It's a tough group.
It is, and you know, 3 points. You saw OL Reign and Portland Thorns play to a 1-1 draw last night. You know, 3 points can really catapult yourself into this into the rest of the 5 games you have.
This ball crossed inside, but a little bit too far ahead of Lucy. So Sheridan will collect it once again. The winner of each of the 3 groups will advance, as well as the best placing second placer. So Challenge Cup, not super kind to a negative result in this competition.
Correct.
You've got to be on your game.
Yeah, and we saw in the earlier game last night with Casey Current and Racing Louisville having the 1-0 lead throughout, and Casey Current equalizing later in the second half.
Here's a ball swinging inside, and collecting it is Didi Haracic, getting her first look on the ball today, the 29-year-old goalkeeper.
And I think that's where, again, when we talk about looking at the West region, and obviously you look at 2 teams in the Portland Thorns and OL Reign who are typically in the upper half of the standings in the NWSL regular season Challenge Cup. Obviously the Thorns winning it in 2021. But you just look at the way that both of these rosters were constructed, and you just said it, Didi Haracic, and then on the other side, Kaylin Sheridan. I mean, already right there you have 2 tremendous goalkeepers.
Here's Angel City on the break. This ball played to press, but it's snuffed up before it could get to her by Sheridan. And that's the kind of veteran presence that is really handy to have, someone who can sniff out the danger. And I mean, if you want to say danger, Kristen Press inside the 6, that's dangerous.
Yeah, and in just going to stats within the Challenge Cup, Kaylin Sheridan, 3 shutouts in 6 games played. Didi Haracic, 3 shutouts in 4 games played, and that's just in the Challenge Cup. So obviously familiar with this. We
got a player down. It's Amira Ali, making her professional soccer debut from Voorhees, New Jersey. She's still down. I didn't see what occurred there.
And these are the, obviously you hate to see any sort of injury, any sort of, player down, but these are the moments where it just looked like maybe she got her left ankle caught underneath it.
It is a hefty challenge. Still being checked on here. So we were talking about the Challenge Cup in general. Some people may view it as a sort of a preseason tournament, but there's a lot on the line in this, so it's most certainly not the case. And this season, they're having a first, offering bonus money for the Challenge Cup. It's a purse of $500,000. Each player on the championship team will earn a $10K bonus. Every player on the runner-up team gets a $5K bonus.
Vivimos en un mundo oscuro, lleno de problemas sociales sin resolver. Y bueno, ellos. Puedes pensar que todo esto no va contigo, pero para cambiar el mundo no necesitas superpoderes, solo algo que te inspire.
And all the players on the losing semifinalist teams get $1,000 each, so don't mess around with this. This isn't a preseason tournament like some people may believe. There is most certainly something on the line here.
Yeah, and to your point, it's just, yes, you can work out some of those finer details, throughout the tournament, set pieces, again, the transition moments, just some details here and there. But, I think talking to the players and the coaches, just the overall excitement to play somebody else other than themselves in practice and having a different 11 to play against. I think everybody was really, really geared up to play somebody and start real competition, meaningful competition. And again, just watching what this Challenge Cup has meant to these teams the previous 2, it just continues to get better. And obviously with the 12 teams, the 3 regions, like you said, the $500,000, it's just such a tremendous format and something that these teams are really excited about.
And you're talking about teams playing in the preseason and itching to get going. I mean, I think it's no more drastic than when you're a club that hasn't ever played a competitive game before. Like, I'm sure that these 2 have been chomping at the bit, not only to play each other in particular. As Press fires a shot, it's pawed just enough to hit the crossbar. And that's our first look at Kristen Press back after a couple months hiatus from playing the game. And I mean, gone like she never left.
and talk about getting the excitement started right off the bat. A great switch here. And this is where Christen Press, obviously just a tremendous player, but when she can get lined up 1 versus 1 faced up, it's dangerous because she can drive at defenders and create her own space, create her own separation there. And again, Kailen Sheridan up to the task, parrying that, hitting the crossbar. But what an opportunity for Christen Press.
Christen Press coming back home to LA to play for Angel City. She was at Manchester United before in September she decided to take a step away from the game for some mental health reasons to sort of rejuvenate herself. She's not one who's really ever had the issue of injury, so she's been playing soccer consistently for a long, long stretch of time and needed just some time to reset in that regard. And unlike when one comes back from an injury and you think maybe they have to get back into the swing of things, like we just saw there, I think you come back with a little bit of a renewed energy.
Yeah, and it was interesting in our conference call earlier this week with Christen Press and Freya Coombe. You know, we had asked about the adjustment of coming back home and living at home, and she, you know, kind of got into her definition of home now, and obviously understanding that she had never lived in California as an adult. So it was a transition, her stuff being in different areas and the places that she's played, but obviously extremely excited to be playing in front of her friends, her family, an opportunity. And she talked about the sacrifices that a lot of these players go through to have the careers they're having, whether they're playing overseas or in different cities. So when you can come home and play in front of your family and friends, it's just incredibly special.
Don't have previous games or previous seasons to talk about when it comes to these two clubs, so kind of got to talk to both the coaches about their preseasons. Starting off with Freya Coombe, she said that the preseason's been good, and she said it's been brilliant to meet all the players in person. They've done all this recruiting and acquiring, but haven't had the chance to get to meet them until this preseason started. And she said we've had some ups and downs, just like most expansion clubs at this point in time. She also mentioned that facilities has been an issue because when the Rams won the Super Bowl, they had to adjust plans and here and about. So thank you, LA Rams, for winning championship games and messing up the flow of things for this club. And here they come running down the pitch. It's Jody. Check that. That's Savannah McCaskill. And now it'll be San Diego Wave ball. And then on the San Diego Wave side of things, talking to Casey Stoney, who this is her first ever NWSL game she's coaching. She said that it's been really positive in the preseason and that it's nice to have a blank canvas and build from scratch. She said it's a great chance to uniquely build your own team and not have to clean someone else's mess. And she said that, as some pressure there, nearly earning a great opportunity for Angel City. But that clean slate's both a positive and a negative, because she mentioned also that you don't have a history, so you have to put forth the effort to create that culture, create that history for your club. I mean, coming from Manchester United, where, I mean, you don't even watch soccer and people know Manchester United.
That brand.
Now here come the Wave. Looking to prod forward. Here's a swinging ball inside for Jody Taylor. Couldn't quite connect with it. A second chance, though, squared inside, played towards goal. And deflected out, where it's recollected by Turnbow. She crosses it in looking. And no whistle blown, looking for Jody Taylor. And it will be a corner kick.
And that's what you could say about both these teams here early on, is their intent going forward. They've both been very dynamic, very fluid, very playing on the front foot, very positive, creating opportunities. San Diego earning themselves a corner here.
First corner kick of the day, and first corner kick in program history for San Diego as that one comes in. And it's knotted out effectively. But take two for Turnbow. Another lob ball inside, headed back into the middle, and it's cleared away once again off the line. And it's finally dealt with there by Allie Riley. Couple more touches, San Diego still on the front foot. Looking to connect with Taylor. It's bopping around, and it's picked up by Haracic. Couple of good moments there for the Wave, but couldn't quite capitalize.
And really positive for San Diego, but give a lot of credit to the emergency defending by Angel City as well. They've had to do this in a few sequences here early on, some of the 1v1 defending in the 18-yard box.
Shout out Katie Johnson trying to do the spectacular
Yeah.
there. What a first goal in program history that would have been. They'll have to wait a little longer. But both teams with some prodding and some decent looking chances. And we knew this was going to be a competitive game. And neither team, has the edge of, well, having a history before. So both, of course, having players who've played the game, though. Here's Press, one of those players. Once again, testing Sheridan.
Yeah, again, to your point, I just think, for these two organizations, obviously everything is going to be a first right now in terms of this is the first match. Obviously, there's going to become a rivalry between these two clubs. But I think these are two clubs. Obviously, you don't want to put too much pressure and expectation on what they can do throughout the Challenge Cup. But you look at the regions again, and we highlighted them early, but you could see both these teams really causing some havoc and really applying some pressure to that, either that top spot or being one of the better second place teams in the groupings.
And it's not like these teams are lacking any talent whatsoever
No.
or experience. We're talking about Jody Taylor, Kristen Press, Alex Morgan. These are seasoned players. Kaylin Sheridan, Didi Haracic, these are players who have been around the block. So
Yeah, and a really good balance of youth and experience within the NWSL.
here's another chance looking for Ali. And that one can't quite get cleared out effectively. Turnbow plays it inside. Knocked out. And it looks to be another corner. Kelsey Turnbow. Well, who picked up the scraps there, not effectively cleared by Savannah McCaskill. So another corner kick for the Wave. Angel City had a couple of looks to prod things off, but now the Wave have come in and are really starting to test this Angel City defense. A floating ball coming in, headed towards goal, knotted again, and couldn't quite get over top of it. Once again, Katie Johnson looking to put that one on the scoreboard.
And Taylor Korniak is always a target there on those set pieces. Just so good in the air, just really well timed.
So some pressure from this Wave side. Maybe causing some frantic passing from Angel City. And it's just earned themselves a throw-in.
Con los videojuegos ocurre algo único. Lo que pasa en el juego nos emociona en la vida real.
Y si hay algo imparable, es la emoción.
Porque si podemos sentirlo, es que es real, ¿no?
Es lo que llamamos Real Magic.
Well, obviously that Manchester United experience is a good one, but there is something to be said about coaching in the NWSL. Talking to Freya Kuhn this week, she mentioned that until you're in the league, you don't truly know it. And she mentioned there are a couple of parts to that. The first one that comes to her mind is travel. She said that's a big one because it could be exhausting. It's flights instead of buses. You have to deal with time zone changes. And then she said another big one is just knowing the players. She said that she knows the players. Others, you just know their film until you actually get to see them in person. Maybe you get to know them. And it's a massive difference. But so far, that doesn't seem to waver this Wave side. No pun intended. So standing on the ball right now is Tegan McGrady, coming over from the championship-winning Washington Spirit side. Spinning ball, pops around a couple of times, still in the 18, then cleared out.
Really, for Angel City, it's can they really weather this storm of momentum that San Diego has really picked up? Haven't seen much of this midfield from Angel City yet get on the ball. Whether it's Recaro, whether it's Spencer.
Whenever they get the ball, they're either going or they're just passing around the back line. Not a lot of connection between the top and bottom.
Yeah, really not much rhythm right now within possession. Obviously not seeing Tyler Lucy quite yet as well in that attacking moment, because you'd really like to see how that combination of Tyler Lucy and Kristen Press looks as well.
That's a team looking to grow. We talked about missions of the Challenge Cup, number one being winning, but a couple of other things that are worth emphasizing, especially if you're a brand new club. Freya Coombs said that we want to grow as a team in the Challenge Cup. And that's something that Casey Stoney echoed, that same sentiment. And she said that we've got lots of strangers who just came together recently, and we want to build that rapport. And I think that's a reasonable take to have for both these clubs, that yes, you want to come in and get results, but what's also important is that you just get these competitive games under your belt, playing with each other, getting used to how everyone functions, not just in practice, because there's a difference when you get out and play against another team and maybe your back gets against the wall a little bit even.
Yeah, the approach from each club is probably going to be a bit different in terms of the squad rotation. Obviously, the 5 substitutions, the 3 substitution windows.
This ball sending over to Kristen Press. She's got in the corner of the 18, squares it inside, suffers a deflection. Lucy goes down, no whistle blown. No contact on the ball there, but our head official saying, play on. And play on we will.
You see Tyler Lucy get tangled up there in the 18-yard box, and Kristen Press's service just taking the slightest of deflections.
Still made its way on the target, but it lost all the speed that it was coming in with.
The approach of the clubs, the head coaches, it's going to be something, does the first game dictate or change your approach towards the rest of the Challenge Cup? If you take 3 points, if you drop 3 points, if you pick up a point, does that change your squad rotation? Does that change the amount of minutes maybe somebody's going to play, whether you're trying to build them into the roster? Because we know teams that are successful throughout the duration of an NWSL season are those teams with depth. And those teams with players that their roles and their identity is very clear-cut when they go in and play, whether it's a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2. We saw Portland Thorns playing a 3-5-2 last night.
Pressel played over to Lucy, whistle's blown. Looks like maybe she got behind that back line a little moment too soon. So they'll put things back into play here. A lot of respect between these two sides as well, as far as the coaches from one another. According to Freya Coombs, she said that Casey is a fantastic coach, and she said that San Diego is going to be well organized and a disciplined group. And she said it's going to be a true NWSL competition. Meanwhile, inversely, Casey Stoney said that Angel City's had a heck of a longer road to get here to this first game. And she said it's going to be hard to know what to expect, given you don't have any film on them, don't know what's going to come. But we know that press will be a problem up top, and I think if anyone's watched the game even a little bit, they could have told you that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, we just go back to the way that both these rosters and organizations went about putting players in different positions, the addition of different players positionally, where they went and emphasized what they were looking for, and then really built a brand and built a really good fan base with, like you said, haven't playing a game. And,
Yeah.
and you look at the stands now, and you look at the fan base now. I mean, it's just an incredible turnout. and you could just tell and feel the excitement for what's to come for both these clubs.
That's a careless giveaway. Taylor working her way forward. Good layoff to Ali. Ali with the shot. And it's a bouncing effort going straight to Hadicic. At the end of the day, not too threatening of a shot.
And I will say that there's two aspects that you're going to probably see. They're going to be refined a little bit throughout the Challenge Cup and throughout the season. And we saw it a bit last night in the two games, and you're seeing a little bit now, is the build-up out of the back and the ability to really play through some of these tighter windows and really play a penetrating ball going forward. So you're going to see some nervy moments building out of the back, and then some of that final third moments as well. Some of those finer details where you hit the final third, you just need to complete that last final tighter pass or really the tempo of the pass, the final idea. So it's really in those two areas that you're going to see some of the refinement come throughout this Challenge Cup going into the regular season.
Got to sharpen those edges.
Yep.
Get everything nice and pristine. Angel City maybe looking to move things forward here. We were talking about the branding earlier, and this thought came to my head. Just want to talk a moment about the crests. Two phenomenal crests. I mean, I think those are two top-notch, not just in the league, in the country, in the world. I think they're just both absolutely fantastic. In my completely objective opinion. This ball swirling in. A follow-up is no good. Some good body control, but once again, nothing too dangerous for Hadicic, and Katie Johnson just trying to get one to the back of the net.
Yeah, and San Diego has been a handful and continues to ask a lot of questions of this Angel City FC backline. And Didi Hadicic, you know, again, I complimented the emergency defending a little bit out of Angel City FC, but they are really getting good numbers here, really good service in by Ali. And Katie Johnson has been effective. Jody Taylor has been effective. Obviously, Taylor Korniak has joined attacks.
Looking the more threatening side at this point in time.
They have, and really they look like the side that is in a bit more rhythm here early. And you could see Angel City FC really trying to gain a footing here and really grow into the match. But San Diego has really been able to control the rhythm and tempo and really find a good balance between finding an opposite sides of the field, really exposing dangerous spaces out wide outside the 18-yard box for either late or early or deeper services.
Once again, you're watching Angel City FC and the San Diego Wave here on Twitch TV. Mark Schoenster alongside me, Eric Dobransky, in this historic first matchup between these two here in the NWSL Challenge Cup, which again, if you weren't here at the beginning, $500,000 are on the line. Champions get $10K, runner-up players get $5K, and if you get to the semifinals, you get $1,000 as well. So, a lot to play for here. This ball looking to go forward, press, can't get it through. Fantastic goalkeeping from Sheridan.
What a ball played in, and what a run by Kristen Press, but it was all met by Kaylin Sheridan with a tremendous save. She recognized that she had to come off her line early and quickly.
Still scoreless here. Both sides trying to make something happen. San Diego with a handful of chances. That's probably the best one yet for Angel City. And you know that's going to be one of their formulas throughout the season. When you want to score goals, feed number 23. She's got that finishing touch, and she'll find some great spots for you.
Well, two opportunities for Kristen Press here in the first half, and Kaylin Sheridan has been up to the task making that save earlier in this first half when Kristen Press took one from about 25 out. And then there, getting in behind the back line. So as much as we've talked about San Diego really controlling the rhythm and tempo and really getting good services off here in the first half.
McCaskill finding a wide open Kristen Press. Press with some time. Fires it herself and it suffers a deflection. The right shin of Kristen Westphal. Angel City's best chances have been on the breakaway.
And it's fascinating to see how many times there throughout this first half that Kristen Press has really been able to find herself isolated, whether it's 1 versus 1 or just in that moment where it seems like San Diego almost is overshifted to that left side and really leaving a lot of room out there on the right side, especially in those transition moments.
It is a transitional league, Casey Stoney acknowledged. Can go to show how they're creating their chances on the wave side of things and how Angel City's been creating theirs in the transition. And to be quite frank, a bit of a wasted corner kick opportunity there. And I'll continue to do this. First corner kick in Angel City history, so.
And it was a wasted corner kick. Yeah, the set pieces and the corners throughout the Challenge Cup, I would expect probably get a little bit more detail, a little cleaner throughout. You know, you always wonder, you know, do you really want to showcase a lot of your set pieces here in the Challenge Cup as you go into the regular season? You know, as you mentioned, the NWSL being a very transitional league in terms of, you know, the role in transition, whether it's on the ball, off the ball, who's the first defender, who's the first attacker, what triggers some of those runs, you know, but you could also highlight how important set pieces are throughout the league as well.
So when everyone's sprinting and then when nobody is sprinting.
Yes, exactly.
You're talking about turnout. Get a load of that. That's fantastic. So it looks like earlier Amira Ali went down and she continued to play on, but I guess the problem persisted. And so they're going to check up on her again. 0-0 your score here between Angel City and San Diego Wave. And there's our first look, a brief look at Casey Stoney wearing the trench coat.
This is a look at the tackle earlier on in this first half. Ali was able to continue, but clearly something continues to bother her.
Lacking that final bit of execution that you could really say any team could be suffering from at this point in the season.
Yeah, really good ideas. Just that final piece, that final detail. Really, for the first half, San Diego did a tremendous job in all three phases in the build-up, just finding that last service and getting on the end of it.
Well, with that, we've got halftime coming our way. Make sure you keep your tab open, your app open, whatever it is you're using. We'll be back for the second half of action here on Twitch TV and the conclusion, the next 45 here between San Diego Wave and Angel City. We'll step aside now. You're watching the NWSL on Twitch TV.
Lenovo Legion. Stylish outside, savage inside.
took place. That was a look from Tyler Lucy. Kind of
where you win
in a way.
It just gets your team
Wearing the by the way, she's a pretty big deal around here, but as the center back, I think you prefer it when your name is not being said. That means you're doing your job.
And really just the two chances by Kristen Press thus far.
Yeah.
The one outside the box and then the one where that ball was played right in between Girma and Dahlkamper.
Couple of touches here. And this one's coming back the other way, yeah. Abby Dahlkamper, the first acquisition for the San Diego Wave. Typically you would expect a highlight midfielder or a striker. They went with a center back, which is oh-too perfect for Casey Stoney, who played center back when she played the game. But also I think it's sort of a statement that what is it that you prioritize in your club when you decide to sign a center back as your first player and the one that you want to, in a way, highlight or be the face of your franchise? Of course, Alex Morgan comes in later, and that's going to take some of the stardom. But nonetheless, you started with Dahlkamper. That means something.
And the draft pick of Naomi Girma.
Yeah.
As well. Another defensive player with those characteristics. And to your point, it just provides that foundation of what your identity is going to be as an organization. We're going to really take care of what we do off the ball defensively, and we're going to let some of that shape really predicate what we do on the attacking side. I mean, I tell teams that I've coached and continue to coach that your best attacking shape is your defensive shape.
Exactly. Here's Press. He's looking to find McCaskill in the middle, but couldn't get it past the three San Diego bodies between her and McCaskill. And that actually builds off of what Casey Stoney said when talking about how she wants her team to play. She says that when our team plays, I want to see hard work. I want them to get the ball back quickly. I want our team to be good decision makers on the ball. And she wants that security to allow creativity up top, because if you could be confident that you've got teammates behind you that are going to cover up for you, it allows you to take some more risks, allows you to, well, be creative and try some things out.
And the success that San Diego's had here in the first half has really come in moments like this where you win possession back 60, 70 yards away from frame instead of having to build all the way 120 yards from Kaylin Sheridan and building through the back in the midfield and really building through the thirds. Is anytime you can win the ball higher up the field, it builds up these better moments, and as you mentioned, it builds that ability to have the confidence to go forward.
Well, this one nearly won back, cleared away. Kelsey Turnbow, we were just talking about it. Jump on passes, win the ball back. Don't allow the opposition to get themselves set defensively into their block. They have been impressive so far in this game, San Diego.
And I wonder if something was communicated from the San Diego side of things with Angel City being in a 3-back, in a 3-4-3. The outlets and the ability to play out just look slightly different than when you play a 4-back. You know, sometimes you have different systems where if you play a 4-back.
No te dejes liar. En Simio creas tu tarifa, la cambias cuando quieres y si no te gastas los gigas, los acumulas hasta 3 meses. ¿Ves qué sencillo?
Entra en simio.es o llama al 1644.
You know, now that holding midfielder or one of the midfielders is able to drop in between the two center backs and be that final outlet in the build-up phase, you know, and it just looks different from Angel City right now in terms of you don't have the wide outlets necessarily, and you can see some of the tighter windows being more difficult to play in right now. And San Diego is really taking advantage of being able to cause some havoc there for Angel City.
Definitely play with that European influence. It's, I mean, we talk about the disparity in the style of play that's occurring on the pitch right now. We've got one coach who has been coaching in the NWSL for a couple years now versus a coach who has been playing across the pond and coaching across the pond her entire time. It'll be interesting to see how much that adjusts as the NWSL season goes on, or if they'll stick to their guns and play like this, because, I mean, right now it looks pretty good.
It does, and the same questions were posed a little bit last night with Portland Thorns coming out in a 3-5-2 and the width that it provided them. But it didn't necessarily develop the attacking numbers. Everything was a little bit isolated, obviously coming with a 1-1 draw with OL Reign. But if you look at that matchup, OL Reign really having a lot of the possession, having a lot of the opportunities as well. So you're absolutely right. Is this something?
That was a look from Tyler Lucy. Kind of seemed like a far cry at first, but was a lot closer than prior imagined.
I had to pause my thought right there because Tyler Lucy went ahead and tested Kaylin Sheridan. Obviously, in the end, Sheridan not having to make a save, but as you said, it seemed a bit hopeful at the beginning, and then it really looked like it was going to challenge San Diego.
Wasn't quite to be. Another whistle. Once again, it's shocking to me that the Golden State didn't get an NWSL club sooner, given how much of a hotbed it is for women's soccer. But nonetheless, they not only got one club, but got two clubs here that I'm sure are both going to represent the state fantastically. It's the first time that there's ever been an NWSL match played in the state of California. The last major professional women's match took place in the 2010 WPS Championship game between FC Gold Pride and the Philadelphia Independents. Ended up being a 4-0 game. Gold Pride won in Hayward, California. And a player who's playing here today also played in that game, Allie Riley, played all 90 minutes. So she's seen the space of time between two different California professional matchups. Like I was saying, it's long overdue.
Yeah, and when you bring up stats like that and stories like that, I mean, you just reflect on the incredible job this league has done, and even more the work of the players and what they continue to do for this game, for the league. It's just a lot of fun to watch it continue to grow, now to 12 teams. As you mentioned, now the 2 teams in California. And it's just exciting games, exciting matchups. You continue to look forward to what this league is going to continue to do now and years to come, and see how the players continue to build this league as well.
Exactly. I mean, as someone who's been able to cover the collegiate level of women's soccer, there's loads of talented women who haven't gotten the chance to play in the NWSL, and as it grows, it just gives more window of opportunity, more chances for players to show their stuff and become the stars that they deserve to be. McCaskill will play it out to her right. Another stepped-on pass. Westphal, the one who wanted it a little bit more.
And just like you, for somebody like myself that has been around college soccer and coached college soccer, continues to coach college soccer, it just continues to show the growth of the league when players are not just talking about EPL games or MLS games. They're talking about, hey, did you watch this matchup in NWSL? Hey, did you watch what Kristen Press did, Alex Morgan did, Sid LaRue, and all these amazing players throughout the league, and it's been really unique to watch that grow over the last 10 years or so, where it's really become a household talking point. It's been something where you go around any women's college program and any athletic department, it's just a really unique aspect of it, and even throughout practices, just asking players who their favorite player is, what game they're watching tonight. Obviously, the Challenge Cup is something for them to really rally around, and I know a lot of our players are excited for kickoff and watching some of these matchups.
So the San Diego Wave once again winning the ball back. Just been some prodding back and forth as both teams, as this game goes on, trying to just figure out their feet underneath them, as well as, and more importantly, the heads that are around them on their side. Like I said, a lot of seasoned players on both rosters, so it's not like they're fielding a bunch of newbies on the pitch. It's just more of developing that hive mind, if you will.
You could see the tempo kind of balance out a little bit here. A lot of the game is being played now in the midfield. Neither team creating chances in the final third. Here the last 8 to 10 minutes or so.
It was a bit hectic at first.
It was a bit frenetic at first, with Angel City kind of taking Route 1 sometimes, where it was very transition, where they were able to find Kristen Press, Tyler Lucy.
Go get it and do something with it.
Yep, and to be fair, they did find a lot of that space there on that left side for Angel City.
Oh, they were trying to connect with Ali there. Couldn't get it past the back line. Had the run forming. Nothing to come of it. So we're approaching halftime. Both teams will get their first chances to talk it out after playing their first minutes of professional soccer, representing this club for some, and for some, it is their first minutes of professional soccer. Great mixture, like you said before, veterans and young talent. We've got it here. This ball curling inside, knotted away. Nifty little touch there. That was Kristen McNabb, the one who just showing off that slight savvy. Another swinging ball inside. There's Westfall.
And to steal your thought, their first competitive halftime talk.
Yeah.
As the organizations, you know, what changes?
This ball just a little bit too short, looking for Taylor. A poor clearance. Looking to find Taylor once again was Johnson. Maybe should have just stuck it out to the left side and laced one. And then that touch will betray Ali there, giving the ball back to Angel City. Now we're like 10-year-olds on New Year's Day.
This is a matchup, and you go back to how exciting all the matchups are in the Challenge Cup, but clearly this is a night that these two organizations, these two fan bases were waiting for, but it was obviously a date that we all circled as well.
You can hear the PA there, 3 minutes of stoppage time. Nearly had a good combination there inside the 18 between Johnson, check that Turnbow, and Taylor, but the final touch to connect with Taylor was a little bit too far a couple moments ago. And that's just the kind of connections, that tic-tac stuff that you start to hone in on as the season goes on. And I mean, you can't expect it to be precise day one, game one. Here comes Spencer. Plays it back towards the middle, looking for Lucy. Here's right back to her. And this one will go back to the back line. Here's a ball from Hammond. And it'll bounce all the way to Sheridan without posing a threat. Mentioned Hammond at the beginning of the broadcast, having to slip in for Gordon. Paige Nielsen also not playing today. Talking to Casey Stoney, or talking to Freya Kuhn, check that. She said that having a player of Gordon and Paige's caliber is really important, and it's tough to replace. Having top-notch defenders like them allow you to hold a higher line. But she did mention that Hammond, Madison Hammond that is, has come in and done really well to plug in that spot. And they'll be relying on her moving forward until they can get some of those players back. And even then, of course, if she does well, then it's hers to lose. Nearly 2 minutes of the added time have transpired. Another free kick for the Wave. Maybe one of the last chances we'll see for either side before the half expires. Got McGrady and Turnbow sitting behind the ball. We'll see which one decides to take it. It'll be McGrady. Floating ball coming in, and it's corralled down after a bit of a bobble from Hadicic, but at the end, it's all safe. All things fair.
For both managers, you have to be pleased with the overall ideas and the purpose and intent that each side has played with. And you mentioned it just a few moments ago. It's really just that final execution.
Yeah.
It's that final detail. You know, you go back to the Katie Johnson opportunity with the slight deflection there in the build-up play for Angel City, and really it's just taking it to her left side and taking it herself.
Lucy taking it down the pitch, still going, shrugging off one player, and then is pushed down. And that's going to earn our first yellow card. Kristen McNabb, the one who will go into the books. A 27-year-old midfielder from Montville, New Jersey. And we're past the 3-minute mark, but I'm sure they're going to allow this free kick to go by.
And this will be a fascinating set piece here for Angel City. Right before halftime and in a dangerous area.
It's pretty far out to take the shot.
It is, and you're really looking to possibly clip one right beyond the penalty spot.
So it's McCaskill and June Endo. One known quantity in the NWSL, June Endo making her first ever appearance. So we don't know exactly what she's got in her bag of tricks, but it will be McCaskill, and she can't get it over the line. Endo is able to bring it down, though. Still going. Sends this one inside, almost connected with Lucy. That would have been a prime spot for it as well. And that will do it for the end of the first half. In the history of these two programs, it's 0-0. And a stout performance from both sides, both showing some flashes, both showing some promise. Just lacking that final bit of execution that you could really say any team could be suffering from at this point in the season.
Yeah, really good ideas. Just that final piece, that final detail. Really, for the first half, San Diego did a tremendous job in all three phases in the build-up, just finding that last service and getting on the end of it.
Well, with that, here to join us, and there's a lot of. First off, this comes into the game. We talked about how Kristen Press coming back to LA to play in LA. Alex Morgan going back to San Diego to play for San Diego. So two really meaningful returns home for these players. And here are the substitutions coming into the game. Kaylee Reel, 25 years old from Fairfax, Virginia, was at Racing Louisville last season. And then Alex Morgan from the Orlando Pride coming in. We'll get to see if she can provide that finishing touch that the Wave are looking for here in the second half. Conjured up some chances, a couple of looks for all of their strikers. So they'll look to create a couple more for Morgan as the Wave, as well as Angel City, look to make history there. No substitutions for Angel City. 45 more minutes here. Once again, you're watching on Twitch TV, Mark Schoenser, Eric Dobransky behind the mic for you. First ever game for both of these programs. First ever edition of the SoCal Classico, as they have dubbed it. Boy, is it great to have the professional women's game back in the Golden State.
would dare to say that the first half really played out kind of the way that we all thought. Obviously, we not knowing what each team was going to bring in stylistically and tactically in terms of what they wanted to look like and the structure and the identity. But, you know, really exciting first half, good opportunities on both ends, and really that final detail, that final execution was the piece missing. A little nervy building out of the back in terms of just some of the build-up through the goalkeepers in that build-up phase. But overall, just a solid first half, so the second half should prove to be a great matchup as well.
Got the chance to collect your thoughts, get an idea and actually reflect on everything that happened in that first 45. Come back out a little bit rejuvenated, ready to go. Revamp to get things started again. Wearing a new jersey, you're representing a brand new club. So there won't be a lack of effort, that's for certain.
And your attention, please.
A couple of touches for Angel City.
Number 2, Abby Dalkin.
A lot of players loaded up on that left side.
Number 18, Kaylee Real. And also exiting the match, number
Carrie
7,
Recaro
Sarah
playing it
Alves.
over to her left side.
Match number 13, Alex Morgan.
There's a ball swinging in. Comes down for Endo, chipping it up. Good look. The volley goes over the crossbar. Another connection to Kristen Press. Not her sharpest challenge on goal this go around, but you just got to keep trying. Inventive ball from Endo there.
It was. You thought there was no space left to play into, and Endo really with the clever ball over the top, and Kristen Press's opportunity over the bar. But here already a really good start to the second half for Angel City. Really explosive thus far.
Here's Kristen Press working on Westfall. Sitting a little bit back further now, Press. Helping in the build-up. Here's Endo. Stepping inside, trying to curl it herself. Can't get it past Girma. Another ball swinging inside. And it's dealt with Kristen McNabb. Angel City on a push here, not in transition, trying to connect it. It finds its way to the back of the net. And Angel City, sound the trumpets. Your first goal in program history. Savannah McCaskill, the one you could put in the record book.
What a service, what a finish. Well done, Angel City FC within this first 5 minutes of the second half. And really, these are not opportunities that you saw in the first half with Savannah McCaskill, because she was playing quite deep in that midfield, and here that left-footed service played in by Riley, just so well timed, just finding that space in between Girma and McGrady.
What a fantastic goal. Great connection. McCaskill coming from Racing Louisville, from Chapin, South Carolina. And then Allie Riley, we mentioned earlier, played in the last professional game over 10 years ago. Got a beautiful assist there with the cross from LA herself. So if you want to go down the list of players coming home, Allie Riley, another one of those players. And I'm sure she's pleased to log that one in.
And that was going to be a little bit what we touched on at halftime, was in the first half, you really didn't see the addition of Allie Riley and Jasmine Spencer in that final third. You saw the desire to go forward.
Con los videojuegos ocurre algo único. Lo que pasa en el juego nos emociona en la vida real.
Y si hay algo imparable, es la emoción.
Porque si podemos sentirlo, es que es real, ¿no?
Es lo que llamamos Real Magic.
Forward and join attacks, but you didn't really see the opportunities for Angel City, and you didn't see them with that ability to send in a service like Allie Riley just was able to do. So something here in the second half that they've already been able to to bring into this matchup, and obviously creating that chance and providing that goal.
I was going to say right before the goal was scored, as here's some pressure. Radicic will pick it up. Feeling to get tracked down a little bit. But I was going to say before that ball got served in that it was our first chance to see Angel City working on that San Diego block, where they weren't just rushing on transition to make something happen. They actually had the chance to knock the ball around and figure out the right soft spot and then give it a tee inside. It is sprinkling a little bit here, so all right, we're going to talk about how the game might open up in the second half. A slip here and there could also help in that regard. Allie Riley with the assist. Savannah McCaskill with the finish. McCaskill scored 2 goals last season. Riley, no assists on the year last year, so happy to get back in her tally in that regard.
And McCaskill has a goal in the Challenge Cup, in the 2020 Challenge Cup.
This one coming down. The Wave looking to find a response on the other end. Couple of good steps forward. Johnson just couldn't quite get that final touch past Allie Riley. There's a couple of good promising moves. Could not create the space necessary to shake off the veteran. Now here's Endo on the other end. It's 2 on 4, but don't tell him those odds. Looking to find Press. It pops out. Press with the shot. The whistle is blown beforehand. Lucy colliding with Girma. They'll give the ball right back to San Diego.
And you just have to like the energy that Angel City has come out here in the second half. And now it's really San Diego trying to find a footing in this match, find some rhythm. Obviously, it's early here in the second half, but you know, the inclusion of Alex Morgan into the 11 here for San Diego.
That was Freya Coombe clapping and providing some energizing. I'm sure she's pleased that her club has found a 1-goal lead here in the second half. And the assister, Allie Riley, drawing the foul there. Sure, she just is asking for a card there because she got the foul. Still some indignance on her face. Take a look at it again. And just pushed her from behind. That's Kristen Westfall. Once again, Challenge Cup, not a preseason tournament. There is something at stake on top of just the title. A financial reward, over $500,000 is being allocated to winners, runners-up, those who make the semifinal. If you win, $10K bonus for each player. Here's Spencer chipping this one inside. Interesting idea, but not to come to fruition. Not a lot of substance from the Wave here in the second half. It's basically been all possession in the attacking half for Angel City. And then my commentator's jinx comes into effect here. Oh, that's a nice little ball. Was looking for Johnson. It's just centimeters too far ahead. So able to split some defenders there. The right idea.
And Angel City doing what San Diego Wave did to them throughout the first half is just the ability to win the ball higher up the pitch and not have to work 80 yards plus to get to frame, really tightening up those windows for San Diego to play into, making it very difficult.
That's a good connection to Lucy. Tyler Lucy off the left post. She can't get the follow-up. It's collected by Sheridan. That was a great ball from Kristen Press. And Lucy just hairs off from a 2-0 scoreline. Oh, that's so close.
What a start to this second half for Angel City. I mean, they have been tremendous throughout pressing, throughout the build-up, and really the transition moments as well. I mean, what a ball in there to Tyler Lucy. As you said, just so close for making a 2-0 matchup.
And they came out the gates kicking here in the second half.
And now you just ask yourself for Angel City is, can you go ahead? Obviously, we see the Tyler Lucy opportunity there, but can you go ahead and find the second one?
Got one down. Now try and pad your lead as we get our second card of the day. Kelsey Turnbow going into the books, along with her midfield teammate, Kristen McNabb. So it's the two of them in the books with our head official, Elvis Osmanovic.
With all the opportunities that we talk about San Diego Wave creating.
This one floats inside press with the volley. It's pawed up in the air. And some excellent goalkeeping from Kaylin Sheridan. And a thumbs up from Kristen Press. Trying to show off her flexibility there.
And really just drawing. And it really starts with the runs by Tyler Lucy and Weatherholt. You know, really drawing San Diego defenders away, and Kristen Press really just fading into that far area. But for all the chances that San Diego created in the first half, unable to convert, and now Angel City is just continues to be knocking on the door.
Testing Sheridan, had a fantastic season last year at Gotham. Ended up making the best 11 in the 2021 season. Great save from her there. Another chip ball inside, and here comes Sheridan. Throwing a punch. Trying to dispel this really, really good stretch from Angel City. The second two pair of expansion teams to come out at the same time. Last year was the first occasion with Louisville and Kansas City, and they, much like these two clubs, started off their programs with a game against each other. And I mean, if you're going to go off in pairs, I think that's a great way to do it too.
Yeah, it just builds so many different storylines as well. And
I would say even this one more than Kansas City and Louisville. There's so much to go off here.
Yeah, and the build-up and really the ownership, the organizations themselves, the additions, the player additions.
We're not the only ones who think that. There are a lot of people in those stands who feel the same way. As this one pops down, Alex Morgan can't get around that ball. Allie Riley clears it out. It'll ping right back for a goal kick. Slow to get up. One of the members of that Angel City back line, Vanessa Gilles. We've talked about the highlight players in Kristen Press and McCaskill. And then, of course, on the Wave side, you've got Dal Kemper, Alex Morgan, the two keepers who are both worth highlighting. But this is another player that I think, and many people would agree, might end up becoming a star in the league. Vanessa Gilles, coming over from Bordeaux, where she played for 4 years in France, but those who've been watching the Olympics will be familiar with her. Won the gold medal with Canada. Decided that she needed another challenge, and coming to the NWSL, I mean, that'll do it. That'll put you on your A. Radicic will put this one back into play, the Bosnian international goalkeeper. Drumming still sounding away here in Fullerton, California.
You had mentioned it to start the second half, and this is really where some of the changes for Angel City have come, and not necessarily tactically, but just really finding those safe areas, those protected areas to play into, have really allowed them those moments where in transition, it's that 100% completion where they're finding this pocket, whether it's playing Recaro, whether it's playing Weatherholt, and then allowing Savannah McCaskill to find higher ground, find the ability to add Allie Riley into the attack, or Jasmine Spencer. And it's just recognizing those areas that you can play in. And I think that it was just a little too frantic in that first half. And really for Freya Kum, it's just bringing your team understanding like, hey, this is where the space is, and this is where we can really expose and find a moment to regain possession.
Kristen Press with the head of steam, tapped away at the last moment, but Lucy tries to chip a shot. It's off the mark. But some cheekiness in the first game of the season from Tyler Lucy. Opting for placement over power. Had some spin on that ball as it fell to her, so maybe trying to do her best with it without it spraying in a wild direction. And it's won back immediately. Lucy connecting to McCaskill. And that one was getting away from her, so she just tried her best with it.
And really names that we did not have to call on much in the first half with Tyler Lucy and McCaskill and Endo. And you could see Endo kind of dropping a little deeper there. But they're doing a tremendous job of getting on the ball now and really making tremendous decisions as well.
Obviously unknown entity in June Endo, and she's come back and she's been winning a bunch of these balls back for Angel City. I'd say particularly impressive from my perspective of things. Talk about talking about players who make adjustments, players who can impress. McCaskill, we're seeing her play rather deep down the pitch, and that's actually something Freya Kum talked about before this game. She mentioned that she liked a lot of McCaskill's game when she saw her last year at Louisville, but she mentioned that she was getting the ball too far back and that she wanted to get her touches in the attacking third, in that attacking half where she can do some more facilitating, and we've seen that here today.
And we saw in the first half McCaskill being, withdrawn from goal, and again the change you just mentioned is now here in the second half. Her ability to receive it now 25 yards or less in that attacking third, and that's always been a characteristic of Savannah McCaskill. It's that just supreme talent on the ball in terms of her ideas, the execution, the technical and tactical awareness. And so you just want to see her closer to frame. And we've seen the benefits of it this far.
So a substitution coming in, Belle Breed coming into the mix. We want to continue the thread line of coming back to Cali to play some soccer. Breed, a two-time champion at Stanford. One of many cardinal on both these teams in that regard. Stanford, of course, being a fantastic program for women's soccer. I'd argue they're the bar. But Breed from Alpharetta, Georgia, coming into the game.
We had Kristen Press to that list of Stanford alums, Allie Riley, Naomi Girma, Tegan McGrady.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on. course, the one who just subbed in. Pick number 27 in this recent NWSL draft, so old and new, making her debut in professional footballing. Get a free kick for the Wave. They need something to just spark for them offensively and possessively as this ball floats inside, nodded away. Morgan will chase this one down. A sliding effort from Weatherholt. Keeps possession with the Wave, but disrupts any flow from that attack continuing. Turnbow will play it back to Girma. We were just talking. Stanford Cardinal have a massive base in the women's game. Both good passes over to the left side. Here's Breed getting some of her first touches on the ball. But Spencer able to win that one back. 31 years old, Jasmine Spencer. She's been around the block a couple of times in the NWSL. Here's a chance to cross the ball inside. Takes a bounce. Breed on the ball once again. Serves it up, nodded away. And we've got a corner kick for San Diego. They look good on their corners in the first half.
And this is where you want to be switched on for Angel City FC, because you continue to really control the rhythm, the momentum, the influence of the match here in the second half. But you give up a dangerous set piece, a dangerous corner here. You have Taylor Korniak, Alex Morgan.
This ball being served inside. There's a lot of height to it. Headed towards the center. Nodded out, played back towards goal. And they're going to say it's a goal kick. It suffered another deflection. But it's in favor of the home side, in favor of the leading side. Just over 20 minutes and added time to go in this game. It was a cross from Allie Riley to Savannah McCaskill. That's the difference in this one so far. But if you've been watching, it has been Angel City-centric half since things have gotten back into action. June Endo with some technical footwork. June Endo still going forward now. Finds the open player on the left side. It's press. Tries to fire a shot, nearly connected with Lucy. And it's pawed away by Sheridan and then cleared out. May not have been the intended result from Kristen Press, but still nearly found her teammate. Could have poked that one home.
Yeah, it surprised Tyler Lucy here at the end. It looked like all she had left to do was stick out her right foot and guide that past Kaylin Sheridan, but as you mentioned, just kind of snuck up on her there as well, took that deflection.
Another first appearance in the NWSL and professionally. Marlene Schimmer coming into the game for Turnbow, coming from Mainz, Germany, but played at Grand Canyon University. Was the 9th overall pick in the 2022 draft. And worth noting, all the substitutions in this game so far have been the Wave. It's still starting 11 out there for Angel City, and it doesn't look like they're running out of gas.
No, and again, we talk about the approach from both these teams and teams throughout the Challenge Cup. You know, do you see it where you get different matchups per game themselves, or do you get it a squad rotation? And this is where a lot of the fascinating storylines come from as well. It's just the
Para ahorrar, no le des más vueltas. Pásate a Simio con los ojos cerrados. Crea tu propia tarifa y cámbiala cuando quieras.
Elige Simio y ahorra. Fibra 300 y móvil 14 gigas por 31,99 o crea tu propia tarifa. Entra en simio.es o llama al 1644.
The situational game aspect of it, it's you're up 1-0, you're down 1-0. What does your team look like when they need to preserve a lead, and what do they look like when they need to find an equalizer?
June Endo continues to win the ball back and then draws the foul a couple acres down going the other way. She has been a problem for the San Diego Wave side. Endo coming over from Shirakawa, Fukushima in Japan. She played in Tokyo before deciding that, much like Vanessa Gilles, she needed a bigger challenge. She played in the Olympics, and after playing some of those Olympic players, she thought she needed to develop her physical game a little bit more. In that collision, Jody Taylor being issued the yellow card and is also down on the ground. Actually, no, Taylor's right there.
Looked like it was Tegan McGrady.
McGrady getting the yellow card. The challenge, and then got the short end of the stick when it came to the collision as well. Get the free kick here. June Endo, as well as McCaskill.
You gotta watch out for Kristen Press down here on that right side.
A little bit too low. Played all the way back. Where only Madison Hammond occupies space. Under 20 minutes to go, and then whatever allotted time our head official, our fourth official actually, opts to roll with. This, of course, the first edition of the SoCal Classico, and also the first edition of either of these teams playing a game. So a big moment for both these clubs. Both looking to find a positive result here in the NWSL Challenge Cup. Champions get a 10K bonus again. Runner-ups get a 5K bonus, and if you qualify for the semifinals, you're gonna get $1,000 at least. Long ball going forward, knotted it up. Gilles takes to the grass and ends up drawing the foul off of Shimmer. Not seeing a ton of it today, but we saw it more in the first half, to be quite honest. But the defenders on the San Diego Wave side, a lot of them have the capability of being a threat in the attack and having that versatility to them. And Casey Stoney touched on that and said that, I mean, having those players with attacking prowess gives the opposition another issue to deal with, another problem they have to adjust to. But she said that this is a transitional league, so those players in particular have to be careful because they don't want to get punished on the other end.
It is, and you've seen Angel City really capitalize on the ability of getting Allie Riley and Jasmine Spencer up into the attack, and it's probably something that San Diego is looking to do more here in the latter part of the second half.
And here's another anticipated debut, Sophia Jakobsen, the Swedish international, coming in for her NWSL debut. Had 33 appearances last season for Real Madrid, scored 8 goals and 7 assists. And here she is on the ball. Jakobsen plays it in the middle, looking for Morgan. It's cleared away. Haven't been able to feed Alex Morgan at all, but maybe the duo of Jakobsen and Morgan can do a little bit more damage. They're able to draw a corner kick here. Approach the 70th minute transpiring. San Diego still looking for that equalizer. That's a nice ball coming in, nodded away. Had a lot of pace and intention to it. Here's Jakobsen again, getting involved straight off from the sideline. This one serviced inside, collected, and a whiff shot. Now Angel City can Prounce going in the other direction. Looking for a switching ball there, leading it on for June Endo. A little bit too much juice.
And for Freya Coombe and her coaching staff and her players.
This is given right back to Lucy, but the damage is cleared up immediately. Kaylee Reel salvaging what was a disastrous situation for a moment there.
The challenge becomes for Angel City is, can you close out this matchup? You've done so much right here in the second half. A lot of energy, a lot of purpose, a lot of intent, really dynamic, explosive. You deserve to see this game out in terms of this final 13 to 14 minutes and whatever we see in stoppage time. These are for two new organizations and really for any team within the league in these first games of the Challenge Cup. These are, for both these organizations, it's moments that you can really grow from and moments you can learn from and take into the regular season. Clearly going for challenge, to move on to that semifinal in the Challenge Cup.
I mean, 3 points here puts them at the top of the table as it stands.
It does, and it probably doesn't get talked about enough in terms of, maybe not expansion teams, but it's these initial impressions that you can make as a team and as a player, and those impressions really becoming the foundation of what you become as an organization what you become throughout the Challenge Cup and the regular season.
McGrady's ball has a lot of air under it, and it's brought down by Hadicic. Springing up into the air to bring that one down. She's ailing for a moment here, but up and in fit shape after a brief recovery period there.
It's just these moments throughout seasons, whether you are able to see this game out and get 3 points, or if you're on San Diego Wave and you find an equalizer, it's these moments that you can fall back on throughout the season and throughout the Challenge Cup. That this is how we've done it. This is how we saw a game out. We held on to a tight 1-0 lead.
And it can be daunting when everything plus the kitchen sink is being thrown your way at the end of the game. And here's Morgan. A good step inside. Alex Morgan still going. And that touch just enough from Gilles. Ball serviced back inside. It's tapped up in the air, nearly an own goal. To say a precarious moment would be short selling it. It's a corner kick for the Wave, but nearly a catastrophe for Angel City.
And it started out with a really good 1v1 defensive moment by Gilles. And it seemed like a bit of a harmless service in there from San Diego Wave, and Allie Riley hitting her own crossbar.
Another good ball inside, but only finds a black jersey. But like I was saying a moment ago, we're getting to that point in the game where the bodies start getting thrown forward for the Wave. Can they break through? Can Angel City hold fast and keep a hold of this 1-0 lead? Well done from Spencer, but it's going to earn another corner kick.
And you continue to see no changes from Freya Coombe and this Angel City side, so you wonder if any are going to be made, and is it going to be in the really the dying stages of this matchup.
I just wonder about match fitness. I mean, this one swings inside. It goes down to the ground. And San Diego level this game with 10 minutes to go. It fell into a mass and arrived on the other side, across the goal line and into the back of the net. And sometimes you just need to muck it up, and it doesn't matter if it looks ugly.
Well, we talk about the differences of the second half and what the second half has looked like from Angel City's side and San Diego Wave, and really the chances that Angel City has created. But we continue to harp on how dangerous San Diego's been on those set pieces and those corner kicks. And any time you can bring in a defender like Kaylee Reel up for a set piece, I mean, those defenders, those eyes become, you know, they see that moment where they can score, and the slightest deflection there by Kaylee Reel and earns herself a goal and an equalizer for her team.
Now, how about that? The San Diego Wave's first ever goal scorer, someone who came in for their center back. Absolutely poetic there.
Just how they drew it up.
Exactly. So we've got an even game. A point apiece as it stands, but 3 up for grabs should some late game heroics occur.
To Angel City's number 8, Carrie Recaro, in the 82nd minute.
Worth noting, Carrie Recaro getting a yellow card. That one came inside. Another corner kick for the Wave. And we know how this game ebbs and flows, and buckle up, folks. These San Diego Wave corner kicks, I mean, they've looked good this entire game. Here's the service from Morgan, trying to connect with Jakobsen. This ball chipping around inside. Teed back in. Couple of looks, it deflects around and sits on the top netting. Another corner kick.
And really, just like that, Angel City has found themselves pinned in their own half and in their really own 18-yard box.
So Marlene Schimmer, the assister on that first goal, getting her first ever professional assist. Looking to get another one here off the corner kick. The German striker. That one's a low ball. It's cleared out by Lucy. That was a nifty touch. That one a little bit too heavy. So 2 goals here in the second half. Starting off early with Riley to McCaskill. And then just a couple of moments ago, off the corner kick, Marlene Schimmer to Kaylee Reel. Kaylee Reel, coming from Fairfax, Virginia, was with Louisville last season. Was a part of 3 clean sheets along that back line.
Can they get the energy and the momentum back that Angel City saw throughout the second half?
Sheridan will boot it right back up the pitch. Jakobsen's chasing after it, but Gilles knows she's there. Luckily, some teamwork between her and Madison Hammond is able to handle any potential trouble. Morgan looking to connect with Jakobsen there. One-touch passes from Angel City. That's a good ball for Endo. Guillermo's tracking her down. June Endo taking a step inside, still going now. Tries to tee it up to Lucy. Maybe took it a little bit too far herself. Now Gilles That looked like a handball. It was right in front of the official. We had the best view of that. Perhaps our perspective. Now Shimmer trying to work past Hammond. It's a fight. It goes off Weatherholt. Angel City with the ball now. Given this is your first ever game, you're against a rival, I don't think either is going to be content with a point.
No, and you see San Diego really pushing.
Couple of taps around Lucy, plays it back to Press. Looking to connect with Lucy there was Savannah McCaskill. Like you mentioned, bodies are coming forward for the Wave. And we've talked about it. Structural integrity and security, big emphasis of the Wave. Where's the quote for that? Emphasize?
You're asking the wrong person. but for San Diego Wave, really have gotten themselves back in this game, momentum-wise, on set pieces. You know, they just kept growing in confidence and growing in those moments. They earned a couple corner kicks and a couple set pieces that really kind of calmed the moments, and then Kaylee Reel getting on the end of Shimmer's service.
Yeah, it wasn't the flow of play, it was through isolated moments, and then by the product of one good isolated moment, then they were able to get a foothold back into the swing of things. Man, what a crowd. What a group we've had here today. Fantastic. And they've been loud here at Titan Stadium.
And have really witnessed a fun game.
Yeah.
Really back and forth. You can see both teams grabbing momentum in different time frames, whether the first half, the second half, whether in the run of play, in possession, or set pieces.
This ball chipping inside, looking for Lucy. It's knotted away. Lucy still running. It's played nearly the full 90 minutes and still dashing around. That's cleared away, only for a moment. Jakobsen pushing it forward. He's looking for Morgan there in transition. Now Endo. Back and forth we go. So LA is getting ready for one substitution here. Got a stoppage in place, so we may see it occurring now, and it will. Carrie Ricara will come out of the game. Lily Nabet will sub in, making her professional debut. Played at Duke, was their holding midfielder. Played nearly 1,400 minutes last season with the Blue Devils. And she's coming home too, from LA. Again, fantastic that the NWSL is in California now. This one knotted up. Couple of touches, popping it over to Shimmer. Shimmer, the nifty touch inside. Trying to make the most of that popped ball. Time is running out. We may have another 1-1 draw in this group, which would mean everything's knotted up at a point.
Yep.
One goal for, one goal against.
And again, I think you look at it and not overall surprised with the, you know, if this game finishes 1-1 and the other West region game last night with OL Reign and Portland Thorns finishing 1-1. Because as we talked about, as you continue to refine and really clean up some of those final moments, you know, you go through and you highlight some of the services and the chances that San Diego Wave created in the first half, and then you go back to that ball in from the first half from Savannah McCaskill for Kristen Press. And then the opportunity by Tyler Lucy to make it a second goal really early on in the second half with the ball played in from Kristen Press.
We're going to get 2 minutes of added time here. And a check there from McCaskill. Wins the ball back for the Reign via a free kick. So 2 more minutes. Do we have a second goal for either of these sides? Or will we be going to 1-1?
2 minutes of stoppage time will be added to the end of the second half.
And both of these teams looking at home games with their next matchup with Angel City.
Here's McCaskill. Crossing it over to the left side, looking to connect with Press. She has to track this one down, and she cannot get to it in time.
With Angel City hosting OL Reign on the 26th of March. And San Diego, their first home game, hosting Portland Thorns.
It'll be the first professional women's game in San Diego since 2003. That one trying to find Jakobsen, but there was a bit of an obstruction between her and the area the ball was going towards. I see the fans starting to pile down to the fences. Want to get the best look at the closing moments of this game. Girma shipping it forward. No one's making the run just yet. And Hadachich will clear it.
I know Angel City FC and their organization are excited to move in to their home at the bank, but you can't. It speaks volumes for this setup here at Titan Stadium and the fans making the trip out to Cal State Fullerton to watch this matchup. Great turnout. They were obviously on for a fantastic night. It sees a 1-1 draw between these two teams.
As you can see, the whistle has been blown. I mentioned before the game started that their fates were intertwined, their stories locked together, and those legends begin with a tie. 1-1 is your final score between Angel City and the San Diego Wave. That was a good one. We're gonna look at the highlights here to cover all the bases, to check back on how everything occurred. As you were just saying, great fans here today. Two coaches, both from the UK coming over to NWSL. So let's take a look at those highlights now. Ready, freshly baked for you.
And really what you saw throughout the 90 minutes was really the ebbs and flows of a rivalry and of two teams that are playing their first matchups. And here the opportunity from Kristen Press there in the 7th minute. Good save by Kaylin Sheridan. An opportunity later, a ball clipped in by Endo. Kristen Press putting it over the bar. And here, the first goal in organization history, Savannah McCaskill. Fantastic ball, left-footed ball played in by Allie Riley. And really moment for Savannah McCaskill where in the first half wasn't able to really find herself in higher ground and higher space inside the 18-yard box in the attacking third. And they're getting on the end of the service. And as we spoke about, San Diego Wave really getting themselves back in this game by set pieces and corner kicks. This coming from Shimmer. Slightest deflection by Kaylee Reel with her team's first ever goal. Equalizing late, and then really both teams playing to that 1-1 draw.